Hey everyone, it's Will from WoWconfidential.com. Be sure to come by my site where I post daily articles and videos on how to make more gold in World of Warcraft. This is the first part in a series of videos to show you how to use the new gold making add-on Trade Skill Master. In this part, we're going to cover how Trade Skill Master finds the most profitable items for you to craft and how to queue them up. If you type in /TSM, this is the first screen that comes up. On the left column is every profession and the settings for those professions, and on the right column are your auction groups, the crafting options, mailing options, and in the bottom column is the auction DB settings and the gathering settings. The first thing you'll want to do is go into the crafting settings. This video will show you engineering as an example of how to set up a queue. The first step is to make sure that you go through every category and enable all crafts. This will make sure that the items all show up in the next window we're going to bring up. To get to the crafting portion of TSM, click on the crafting button. Here's the default crafting area, and at the top you can click on Trade Skill Master Crafting, and here's the whole window. You'll want to select all, and you'll see on the left column we have the market value, and the right column we have the profit. So the profit is the current market value, take away the crafting costs. You'll notice that there's a lot of items above what is currently our highest profit item. That's because during our last scan it didn't see any of these items currently posted. Let me show you how TSM calculates the market value and the profit for each of these items. Type in /TSM again, and you'll see under every category it shows you the market value, the cost, and the profit of every item. Where TSM gets these numbers from is based on what you put into the crafting options. I have it set to get my map prices from my Auctioneer data, and I have it set to the market value. And for my crafting prices, I have it set to Auction DB, the current minimum buyout. So that's the lowest buyout of an item that's on the auction house. And I also set a 5% profit deduction, so this will account for the auction house cut. All of our crafting settings are now complete, so we have to go to the auction house and get updated numbers before we start crafting. On the window on the right you have your posting, your canceling, your cancel all, your status config, your run scan, general buying, milling, disenchanting, prospecting, crafting mats, and your deal finding buttons. So to run a scan, we click on the middle button, and you can either run a regular scan or the get all scan. The get all scan is definitely much faster. So click on that, and this is going to refresh every data point on the auction house for everything that we can craft, so TSM can show you what the most profitable item to craft is. You'll know that the scan is done once the bar at the top is complete, and if you have Auctioneer, it will also update all the numbers, and you'll see that in your text box. All of our data is now updated, and we can see our profit margins on the right side. Before we queue all this up though, there's going to be items that, yeah, even though it's profitable, it's not going to be really worth our time to make it, like 3 gold, 4 gold profits. We only want to make the things that will give us a good return. You can set in TSM what the minimum profit per item you're willing to craft. To change the amount, type in /TSM, click on the crafting button on the left side, and then go to options, click override a minimum profit, and I like to select both the profit and the gold amount. I set my minimum profit to about 18 gold each, and the percentage to around 20%. You can mess around with these numbers, but the percentage, make sure that if you're making a really expensive item, that you're getting a good return, and for the lower end items, that's where the minimum gold profit amount comes in. You can also select the amount that's going to be queued up. I like to only craft one of every item that's profitable, since some engineering items can be very expensive, but you can go into additional settings for certain items that you want to make more of. So for some of the pets like Little Smoky, I like to make 2 of them at a time because that's how many I post up on the auction house, and also the pet bombling. but something like the Personal World Destroyer, that's like $1,000 to craft, so I might just post one at a time on the auction house. Now we're ready to craft, so you just click on Restock Queue, and you'll see that only 2 of the little smokies have been posted, since I already have 2 pet bomblings in my bag, so it's not going to queue that up. And it didn't queue up the Personal World Destroyer because it doesn't know what the current minimum price is on the auction house, because there isn't one up. So you have to go up and manually queue that. You just left click on it and it will show up. In the bottom window, you're going to see all the items that you need in red, and in green are the items that you already have. Keep in mind that TSM is still in beta, so they're missing some features. For example, Electrified Ether, it says the market value is 87 gold, and that is what the average price is in Auctioneer, but we can craft that ourselves for much cheaper. It takes 2 volatile air, and volatile air goes for about 33 gold on average. So that means that we can craft the ether for 66 gold. The other feature they need to add is to automatically queue up the items that are required. So right now it's assuming that we're just going to buy the fused wiring off the auction house, even though we could craft it ourselves. But that's probably going to come out in another version when they're ready for release. As for now, the best thing that you can do is type in the items that you need to craft in the default UI. You can see that the amount is getting updated in the materials window below. Another neat feature of TSM is the ability for it to automatically search for the materials that you still need. So we still need 1 fused wiring. If you click on the TSM window, expand it over, and click on Shopping Crafting Mats, click on Start Shopping, and it will go through all your materials and buy whatever you still need. Unfortunately, there aren't any fused wirings up on the auction house right now, so it's not showing up. But the average price is about 5 gold, 33 silver each. I'm going to have to buy some delicate wire and make my own. One thing you might notice is when you try to queue something, it doesn't show up in the right screen, and I find this kind of annoying sometimes. I'll show you how to fix that, but right now I'm just going to queue up and craft my little smokies. I've crafted all those. Now to fix this bug, you can see even when I click on it to queue it up, the materials show up, but it doesn't show up in the right screen, and the craft next button is grayed out. So what you have to do is type /reload /UI, and once that comes back, you'll see that everything's back and you can queue it up as normal. That concludes part 1 of the Trade Skill Master tutorial. Part 2 is going to cover how to automatically post all your profitable items, as well as cancel whenever you've been undercut. So make sure you subscribe to know when that's going to come out. Also be sure to come by my blog at wowconfidential.com, where I post daily articles and videos on how to make more gold in World of Warcraft. If you're looking for some more advanced tips on gold making, I highly recommend the guide that I have linked to in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.